An Early Death and Other Early Deaths. What to say about this book? The title story, An Early Death, is something I wrote over a decade ago, and it got published as brothers in Unnerving's Hardened anthology. I didn't feel like I had the skills to do justice to what I was trying to make it say, so I rewrote it entirely into a novella that Head's Dance Press, run by Evan, who had to close that press, I think. Almost all indie presses are just like one or two people very passionate about great small books, putting their own money into it, and then most of them don't make it last through no fault of their own. It's competitive, it's a saturated market, it's filled with books, and I was wondering whether or not I'm a success or not, which I'm still doing as I work my way through this collection of books. I think that so many different individuals have really championed my work over the years and believed in it enough to back it with their own money. What more could you ask for? A big readership. I've never had a big readership. That doesn't mean that people who are really been searching out for this kind of stuff haven't championed my work. I don't know what to make of it. I'm trying right now to be vulnerable and honest about it without being ungrateful or doomer about it. I'm trying to be realistic about the indie publishing landscape. I can't make head nor tail of it. So I'm just telling you my experiences book by book. So Evan's press fell through before he could release An Early Death. I kept it on the hard drive for a few years before realizing it was just too weird for me to find another publisher to publish it. And then there were other stories in here that were also very weird. We opened with one called Killer Looks, which is about an eye at the center of the world, which stares at one person at a time, and it makes everyone turn and shame them. But the story is told over a message board of people who are interested about it and the messages that they send to one another. So that was just too out there, I think, for anyone. I still believed in it, and I thought, well, why don't I just put my two weirdest, least commercial stories together, along with a few short stories that I took from earlier collections that I didn't believe in, and one or two random stories that had been published by other people and didn't yet have a home that I thought would fit in this collection. 185 pages. Stories that I wrote and rewrote over months, like months of years of ruminating on things that I couldn't find a home for. So I gave them all this home. I really believe in these stories. I just think they were too unconventional for anyone, for the most part. Let me read to you what they're about. A young grieving man sets up an avant-garde theatre project to cope with bereavement, but tensions with the cast threaten the final performance and his sanity. A planet-sized eye appears at the center of the Earth, picking a new person to look at every hour. Everyone else radiates a paralyzing shame towards the target that, in most cases, drives them to suicide within minutes. Leo Robertson and his husband hear a violent disturbance in the night. They debate what to do about it, but they can't even agree on what they heard or where it came from. A young waiter in Scotland learns that an ex of his passed away, setting him off on a nighttime odyssey through his past. Where every first experience was steeped in melancholy, love seemed to offer an escape, and the dead returned to the plane of the living through dark magic rituals. In these stories, characters experience inexplicable phenomena and struggle to make sense of the world around them, asking themselves, how are you supposed to heal from something when you don't even know what it was and have no way of finding out? Which, if you've been watching all of these, you know is like a constant theme of mine. I think that's like the basis of everything I do. I think it's how I hold on to my compassion for humanity, really, because this is something we all need to deal with. And I don't know how we deal with it. And in my stories, I think I reveal situations, new situations where this same thing keeps happening, that something happens to somebody that they cannot name and will never find out but have to deal with mostly by themselves. I think that's a good description of something that we all do in life and something worth writing about over and over. And so I have done. And so some of the stories in this are about that very theme. And another book very close to my heart. I've said this about a lot of them, but I think they all are actually going through it. They must be if I've kept them. Because like I say, like most of these are now self-published by me. So if I stuck them back out again, I still believe in them. So any of them are worth reading, honestly, I think. But this one is a very special book to me, and I hope you will check it out.